This is the Module 1 topical knowledge video focusing on the legal context of the profession and the practice. In this module, we'll begin discussing the first of our three contexts that organize the course, the societal and legal context. Modules 1 through 5 will examine how professional practice looks from the widest perspective of society in relation to professionals in general and in relations to architects' specific impact in and on society through their particular roles, and in examining the issues that arise at each of these levels. In these first 5 modules, the major roles that shape the societal legal context and its perspectives are taken on by society, the public, the legal system, and the architect. These major shaping roles are taken on by different actors in different contexts. In the project and process context, they involve the client, the user, the constructor, and the architect. And in the firm and business context, they'll involve the client, the market, the project, and the firm. The module topics will progress from an understanding of the societal and traditional concepts of the professions through legal contexts that have been shaped around the professions, through governmental and regulatory concepts that have given further shape to what architects are responsible for, and finally, through sociological concepts of how all of this can be carried out by groups of people in effective ways. The layered relationships throughout the context culminate in Module 5, with discussion of reasoning and judgment as they intersect codes of ethics and contracts. Codes of ethics and contracts both attempt to capture the myriad of relationships of the societal and legal context in written and codified form. They both act as a platform from which to move to the subsequent project and process context with its more specifically architectural concerns. In this module, we'll begin the course by defining what it means for an architect to be termed a profession, covering some basics with regards to how the professions compare to other modes of work and other careers, how they engage reasoning, judgment, and ethics, how practice for architects has evolved and is currently structured. Architecture is deeply embedded in society and is shaped in many ways by society's expectation, even if architects like to challenge such expectations. Several of these expectations have been codified into law and regulations regarding business, professions in general, and the specifics of architectural practice in particular. These expectations are often interwoven, and the duties relating to them are sometimes in conflict. We'll look at how these expectations are described in the language of the law and regulatory requirements. We'll also begin our consideration of applied reasoning and judgment skills and the ways in which they integrate with the topical knowledge areas and contexts we'll be discussing. Many people involved in the profession have found that clear and ethically considered reasoning and judgment are becoming more and more critical in a variety of fronts. In this course, we'll address some of those reasons as they specifically relate to professional practice and its context. An example of one such reason is the steady increase in the complexity of practice and of society, accompanied by the resultant changes in the way in which we practice, all of which are generating many new and different situations that we as architects must first think through before we can lead ourselves and others through those situations. This example serves to point up two crucial ideas: that the profession of architecture is strongly tethered to the applied, concrete, specific responses to the details of social, cultural, and economic reality, and that as those realities evolve, the profession must evolve with it. This almost assures that the situations of the profession of architecture encountered and that we need to respond to will never be fully captured by nor fully described by written codes of ethics and contracts. In the myriad of situations that we face that are not completely defined by codes of ethics and contracts, we must be ready at any moment to instead use our applied reasoning and judgment skills, thinking through each new and different situation as it arises and evolves. The course will use the following two-part working definition of professional judgment. Professional judgment will be defined as the paired use of two component areas: applied reasoning and judgment skills that employ professional knowledge specifics. Applied reasoning and judgment skills will be the focus of the modules on the societal and legal context, and professional knowledge specifics will be the items and skills focused in the modules of the project and process context. Both of these component areas are examined using a case study approach, which we'll begin to working with in this module's discussion.